The Wolves, they were running through the Rockies, and they were howling, Anthony Edwards is here, Chiney. Remember, Chris Finch, he was behind the bench in this game after that knee injury.
He was doing his thing. He tried as best as he could.
But Anthony Edwards said, don't worry, coach, I got you.
Look, Anthony Edwards leads the postseason in fourth quarter scoring, but in this series, he did not let anything to chance. He had 25 first half points. He set the tone early.
On 10 of 17 shooting, no less, Chiney, in the first half. Anthony Edwards keeping it going here. They got out to a huge lead.
Malika, he had 18 paint points. Oof. And then he was lethal everywhere. Look at the handle, the mid-range, knocking down the threes. We always say he's 22.
So I thought that, maybe we could take a break, go make some dinner, but, it's the defending champs. Here they come.
Okay, third quarter, that's when the supporting cast stepped up. That guy, Karl-Anthony Towns, I think he started the second half 5 for 5. That was necessary after Anthony Edwards held them, bought them time. Jamal Murray in an uncharacteristic zero-burger in the first half, but then he started going in the second too.
He is so skilled, Chiney. Watching him, that kind of finish, I was just reminded to say it more often.
Look, I'm learning from Perk because I said zero burger. I don't know. I've never said that before, but that was not a technical, and I'm glad it got rescinded.
Yes, absolutely. So he was given a tech for the stare down here. On the other end, Nikola Jokic going to work. Naz Reid, we're going to talk a little bit more about him.
Sorry, it's not a pivot. I know it's basketball. It was a pirouette.
It was fancy footwork.
What's fun is it's not like he's so quick. He's just so
agile.
skilled.
So you mentioned the tech that was rescinded earlier. Jamal Murray, the and one, finger guns. By the way, that wasn't called a tech in the moment, as it shouldn't have been.
Let these men play. Let them hoop. But this was the move of the night, y'all. Come on now.
That's Aaron Gordon on him.
Gordon, tough switch, crossover, draw back, shoot the. Oh man, that was nasty.
But in case you didn't know, now you know Edwards, Murray, they're the only two players to average 15 points and 75% shooting in the fourth quarter over a 3-game span in the last 25 postseasons. Excuse me, we have 2 words for you. Naz Reid.
Naz Reid, y'all. Legendary. I know there are rap beefs everywhere. Naz is one of the greatest for a reason.
14 points in 9 minutes in the fourth. Nikola Jokic gets the and one there, but going ahead under 2 minutes to play. The Wolves up 191. Say it again, Chiney.
Closer.
Yes, ma'am. Edwards, 43 points, 7 rebounds. Let's take a listen to Ant after the game.
I mean, I lost to these guys last year, and they are the defending champs. They're a hard team to beat. Great team. They got great players. They got the best player in the league with Nikola Jokic. To me, they got the best closer with Jamal Murray, the best three-point shooter with Michael Porter Jr. So it's tough to beat this team. It's not just my mentality; it's the team mentality. We come in and we know it's going to be a war, and we just play within the game and just stay within the game. They make runs. We know we got to make our runs and just fight, man. It's going to be a fight.
So get this, Anthony Edwards, he joined Kobe Bryant in 2001 as the only players ever that are 22 or younger with consecutive 40-point playoff games, which is ridiculous. He is also the first player with 40 consecutive 40-point games, in Timberwolves postseason history at any age. So The last time the Perk was on this show, he said, you know what, Michael Jordan, Anthony Edwards, right there. That's who we're comparing. But Anna said he actually wants us all to kind of back off, chill out on the MJ comparison.
Let him win something first.
Right. So we're going to do that, but I am going to ask you how you are describing Ant now that he's dropped 43 points on the defending champs.
Which, you want one word? You want, how you want it?
Yeah, let's do one word.
You want a word of the day?
I want one word of the day.
I'm going with the word bowl, okay? B-O-L, bowl. And I'm not talking about Bowl from the Phoenix Suns. I'm talking about this Serbian word bowl that means pain. And I'm glad you put up him alongside Kobe Bryant, because Kobe Bryant, he wanted to bring pain, and he brought pain to his opponents. That's what Anthony Edwards is doing right now to these guys in the Western Conference, especially the Denver Nuggets. He have you scratching your head as a head coach, wondering, how can I stop this young man? We talk about his tenacity on both ends of the floor. You talk about his leadership, him putting the key in his guys' back to give them the confidence to say, you know what, we got this. We are the better team. Anthony Edwards, every time he step on the floor, he's trying to punish you and bring pain, bring bold.
Our vocabulary all expanded today. I don't know about bringing bowl Perk, but I do know that he's also defying the odds, right? The Timberwolves, they won game 1. Minnesota, take a look at this, now has a slim chance, a slim favorite, right, to win the West. You can see how the rest of it shakes out here. Are they your favorites, Chiney?
Oh, that's a tough one for me. That's a tough one for me because, to me, styles make fights, and these are two teams that were, as we mentioned a zillion times, the Minnesota Timberwolves were built to rival the Denver Nuggets in a very, very similar style. This all hinges on the health of Jamal Murray. If he's not fully healthy, then I do think that the Timberwolves have the edge, because you saw that clearly that first half with 0 points, that's uncharacteristic. Even his overall shooting performance, was he like 6 for 14 or something? If Jamal Murray is healthy, they still are the team to beat. This is the problem, though. We've seen a trend with the Denver Nuggets that they've started off slow in games, whether it was versus the Lakers and now versus the T-Wolves. Against this squad, you can't afford to do that because, again, I know we're talking about the 25 points in the first half by Ant. He leads the fourth quarter in points per game. They found a closer. They also have defense. They also have Naz Reid giving you 14 in the fourth quarter. You have Mike Conley, who found his offense too, giving you 10 assists. They're looking complete the same way we've been talking about the Denver Nuggets looking complete all year.
Okay, so I can answer that question with one word. No.
Oh, okay.
No. Like, the Denver Nuggets are the defending champions. So until somebody knocks them out, they should be favored. They have a championship pedigree. The one thing I will say, they've never been behind. Like, we haven't seen them during this championship run have to come back from a deficit. We've seen them come back from a deficit in games. It happened every game in the Lakers series, and they're really good at coming back within a game. But in a series, when the pressure starts to build, especially against a quality opponent like this, I want to see what they're made of. They've certainly had playoff battles before they went on this run, where they got behind in series and came back. But the Denver Nuggets are the defending champs. Let's give them a minute to adjust. I talked to some of the coaching staff. They said they need to be more aggressive defensively. You get away with it, right? When you get away with getting off to poor starts, as they did in that Lakers series, makes it easier to keep doing it. Well, they didn't get away with it, and they're not going to get away with it against Minnesota. Also, Rudy Gobert questionable in the next game, for personal reasons. So let's see what happens if he's not able to go in game 2.
Yeah, Chiney hit the nail on the head with Michael Malone saying, what are we waiting for? We need to play with a little bit more urgency. We can't just rest thinking we're the defending champs. These guys are coming for us. And offensively, Jamal Murray, but defensively too, right?
That's
Maybe
true.
he looked a little bit of a step slow. But go ahead, Perk.
The Wolves are going to the NBA Finals.
Whoa.
They weren't just built to knock off the defending champs. They were built to win the Western Conference. And I understand Jamal Murray being injured, but who had the #1 defense in the league this season? It was the Minnesota Timberwolves. And a big part of that, I get it, is Rudy Gobert, and he's probably going to win his 4th Defensive Player of the Year. But also those dogs that they have on the perimeter as defenders. When you talk about Jaden McDaniel, you talk about Anthony Edwards, you talk about old school Mike Conley, they're not going anywhere. They make you uncomfortable. This is who they are. And when you have a guy like Karl Anthony Towns, who has his confidence is at an all-time high because you're playing alongside Anthony Edwards. This team has belief. Their head coach was sitting on the sideline in crutches, fresh out of the hospital. Like, at the end of the day, the assistant had to fill in, and it was no problem. Next man up, because we got this. I believe that Anthony Edwards is going to continue to be the best player in this series. I think he's going to continue to be the best player in the Western Conference, and I believe that with all of me. I got the Minnesota Timberwolves winning this series in 7, and whether they face next round the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Dallas Mavericks, they're going to beat them, and they're going to the NBA Finals.
Wow. I mean, that's a bold prediction, Perk, but I do agree with you on this part. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they're kind of like my baby hairs, right? They come at you in waves. They are always coming at you in waves. And after game 1, Nikola Jokic, he offered maybe a solution to the Wolves' game plan here.
To have a duplicate clone of myself, and then I can be fresh. When they sub another guy, I'm going to be fresh.
Yeah, simple, right? 3 Nikola Jokic's, which would be scary, but he made just 11 of his 25 shots in game 1, dropping the Nuggets to 4-10 when he takes 25 shots in his postseason career. His 44% shooting was 4th worst in these 14 games. So that's the mumbo jumbo. Chiney, how sustainable is this for the Wolves?
Well, like, if we're talking baby hairs, when it comes to the Wolves, their defense is what they stand on, just like my baby hair. You can put edge control, they still gonna stand on business, okay? But when we're talking about this T-Wolves defense overall, I want you guys to take note of this. Jokic had 7 turnovers in this game, and that was because he had to go through 2 tough lines of defense. Not only Karl-Anthony Towns, but then look at the stunt game by Rudy Gobert, who's likely going to be Defensive Player of the Year. Aaron Gordon has been making his living in the dunker spot, and he was able to, time and time, possession and possession, play to. Watch this. This is masterful. Not many people can do this. Guard away from the dunk, get a deflection on Jokic. For the first time, I think we saw that the Timberwolves defense, their defense that is #1, that has been standing on business, was able to speed up the Joker. They're going to have to do that time and time again in this series, but it was nonetheless very impressive.
In order to get the Wolves wanted to be able to get the Nuggets to lay down.
Lay down.
We're going to keep the metaphors of the baby hairs going.